The pornography police are after your computer. We'll tell you why in tonight's cover story, Cyber Cops, coming up next.
The news.
The federal government is trying to pull the plug on some parts of the internet.
Some lawmakers say cyberspace is getting too raunchy for minors. In tonight's cover story, the naked truth about what's online. Ernie Freeman reports on government attempts at policing cyberspace.
Bill Koch is a self-described computer geek. He started playing around with PCs as a 5th grader. He first logged on to the internet before most people knew what it was. Today, he's just one of an estimated 30 million people who log on to the net every day.
They're just discovering computers, they're just discovering online services, and basically it's sort of scary.
What's scarier, say some, is what's being offered in cyberspace. Dial up the right news group or bulletin board on the information superhighway, and you can see just about anything.
They want to ban any frontal nudity on the internet. Well, they're going to have to ban it on the cable, too.
As PC ownership rises, so does government concern about what's available online. Congress wants to take a megabyte out of online material that would be inappropriate for children.
You can walk in any library in the country, open up the Encyclopedia Britannica, and there's instructions on making bombs. What's the difference between that and the internet? I don't know, but they're not out there trying to legislate what the libraries can allow minors to have access to.
Senate Bill 314 and House Bill 1004 seek to eliminate obscene materials on the internet and online services. Ostensibly, the aim is to protect children from materials intended for adult eyes only. But some wonder if these attempts at policing what's available in cyberspace violate constitutional guarantees of free speech.
Any medium can be used for criminal activities. I think the phone lines, a regular phone line, somebody calling a child and talking to them voice is far more dangerous than what can happen on the computer screen.
But things can and do happen in cyberspace that cyber cops and parents should be concerned about, especially parents with little computer savvy.
Take, for example, the child molester. Before PCs exploded in popularity, pedophiles would prey on children in playgrounds like this one. Well, the playground of the 1990s is the home computer, where anybody can go just about anywhere in the world, including your bedroom. And anyone can talk to your child online.
A dialogue begins, the adult wins the child's trust, and eventually gets a telephone number and an address.
Then he might say, well, look, you know, I'd like to buy you a gift or something. Maybe we could meet, and they finally do communicate in person instead of through the computer system.
Lees, who heads the Maryland State Police Computer Crime Unit, says several such cases are currently being investigated in Maryland. Cyber cops are not just concerned with the safety of children on the net, though. Federal agents are keeping a close eye on college campuses, where almost everybody has internet access, and the potential for illegal activity is high. House Bill 112, called the Electronic Anti-Stalking Act, seeks to prevent harassment by computer. It comes after a University of Michigan student was jailed for allegedly communicating threats about another student over the internet.
It's unfortunate, but most universities of the size of Hopkins have agents from the FBI that are essentially assigned to our account.
Which means Big Brother is watching, monitoring your electronic communications from some mainframe network. It's the kind of Orwellian cyber policing many internet users say goes too far.
We do not do things that would be analogous in the voice world of doing wiretaps. I do think gradually the electronic data networks are going to have to evolve to the point that if there is reason to suspect that there will be the ability to identify where messages are coming from, perhaps to recover messages, but that has to be a very carefully controlled exception and not the rule.
Well, it's about 80% of the stuff available in the sex areas on the internet are pictures like this.
Bill Koch says it's too early in the evolution of the internet to start policing it. In the early days, the net was self-regulating, and many internet providers are beginning to offer software that allows parents to block access to some of the sleazier destinations in cyberspace.
What happens if, you know, a police officer decides, well, I don't like this stuff he has online here, and, you know, I think this is indecent. They come in, confiscate all my equipment. I lose time, I lose money, and I have to go to court, and depending on what the court's like, I might end up 2 years in jail and a $100,000 fine for having someone say a 4-letter word.
Bill says cyber policing efforts on the internet are a waste of time, that efforts by Congress to protect children will only take away the freedom he's enjoyed in cyberspace for years. In Baltimore, Ernie Freeman, Fox 45 News at 10.
Last week, the Senate passed its version of the Communications Decency Act. The House is still considering the measure, and it also is expected to pass it. On another note,